to make this go quickly. I said I will try to make these 2 meetings go quickly. Oh, weird. Are you guys ready?
We are ready. Leslie is not here, but it is 5:41, and we were supposed to start at 5:40. I was here early. All right, we'll call.
Actually, before we start, it was in the weekly report email that I sent yesterday. Anyway.
All right, we will call to order the Urban Redevelopment Agency. This is the regular meeting for March the 18th. And I will not have the clerk call the roll, but we will note that Councilmember Robson is absent. We have approval of the minutes. We have minutes?
Just approval of the minutes. We only had 1 meeting last year, and it was July. Well, I'm sorry, we had 2, but you approved the first meeting in July.
Motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the minutes as presented. Any further discussion? All in favor? And that is unanimous. And that'll move us into item A, Urban Redevelopment Agency. Well, this moves us into new business staff appointments.
So each year you have to appoint new staff to the positions of secretary and treasurer for the URA. We have had a new economic development director come on board who has traditionally served in the position of secretary. So we are recommending that you appoint Ashley Yeomans to the position of secretary and reappoint Daria Chrysikis to the position of treasurer.
I'd like to bring a motion to appoint Ashley Yeoman as secretary and Daria Chrysikis as treasurer for the URA.
You need Mr. Councilman Vice. Would you restate the position that they were being appointed to? Or doesn't say?
I'm sorry. I can say it is Ashley Yeoman as secretary and Daria Chrysikis as treasurer.
Thank you. Second.
All right, have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that item? All in favor? So appointed. We have the 2024 URA annual report.
So each year, according to the legislation that was passed that established the URA, we are required to present and to submit an annual report on the activities of the Urban Redevelopment Agency to DCA each year. And so this is the presentation of that annual report. The unaudited financial statements are in the agenda. I wasn't going to share that on the presentation this evening, but just to kind of highlight a few things that we did last year. The URA did meet twice, like I mentioned, in March to do the staff appointments, presentation of the 2023 annual report, as well as to approve a reimbursement resolution for a bond to purchase the Broad Street properties. And then you met again in July of last year to then approve the bond resolution and intergovernmental agreement with the city for that bond issuance. And so if you recall, you issued a taxable bond for the properties along Broad Street. So I don't know that you have to adopt the actual annual report. I do just have to present it to you. So And then this is just the annual budget. There are a few expenditures that still exist from the 2019 URA bond from the police department construction. So we're using the remaining little bit of that for the real-time crime center build-out. It's roughly $44,000. We've also allocated $71,000 for City Hall for that balanced design contract should you move forward with it this evening. And then the remaining is $2.1 million in debt service for the URA collective debt that has been issued through the agency. And that is the budget. Pretty simple.
Questions? No questions?
Any action needed?
Yes, you do need to adopt the budget.
All right.
Motion to adopt the budget as presented?
Second.
Motion and a second to adopt the budget as presented. Any further discussion? All in favor? And that is unanimous. All right, that's it for that, right?
Myositis.
Yep. Need a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
A motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor? And that is unanimous.
Myositis.
Myositis. Myositis. Myositis.
Those are some boots. Is it going to get deep tonight? Is that why we have boots, those boots?
Myositis.
I tried to time it just so.
Myositis.
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 Residents of the city of Chandler among those affected by
Myositis.
Miley Cyrus.
and other rare diseases, because nearly 1 in 10 Americans have rare diseases, and idiopathic inflammatory.
Myositis.
You had.
The longest 2 minutes ever. I know, sorry. There's only so much you can say about that. 5 tally marks for what, saying It's what happens when you're not prepared for the presentation. Last presentation? Yeah? Uh-huh. I don't think we want to put anybody up there to try to get curtains on those windows. They might never come down. We do have a bucket truck, so.
All right, I will call to order the Public Facilities Authority regular meeting. Under old business this evening, we have approval of minutes. We have 2 sets of minutes, one from August the 20th and one from October the 15th.
Motion to approve both sets of minutes concurrently for the August 20th, 24 meeting and the October 15th, 24 meeting.
I have a motion and a second to approve both sets of minutes for August the 20th and October the 15th. Any further discussion? All in favor? That is unanimous. Under new business this evening, we have staff appointments.
Yes, similar to the URA, we need to appoint staff to the PFA for secretary and treasurer. So we are recommending Sharon Bowie as secretary and Daria Kriskis as treasurer.
Motion to appoint Sharon Bowie as secretary and Daria Chrisakis as treasurer for the PFA.
A motion and a second to appoint staff as recommended. Any further discussion? All in favor? That is unanimous. The PFA annual report.
As you recall, the Public Facilities Authority was created through General Assembly legislation last year. So this was the first, 2024 was the first year that it was operating. And you all met twice in 2024, once in August to adopt the organizational resolution and establish the bylaws of the PFA, as well as to approve the 2024 bond resolution when you issued $8.4 million in bonds to fund public works and Fishbowl Park. So that is the activity that occurred in 2024, and the unaudited statements in your packet reflect that activity.
Very good. Any questions on that? All right, the PFA budget.
And again, this is just the budget for the 2025 Public Facilities Authority. And it's roughly $5.3 million, excuse me, for site improvements for Fishbowl Park construction and public works renovation, as well as the purchase of properties that occurred last year for public works. And that is essentially it, as well as the debt service.
Very good. Need a motion on that?
Yes, you need to approve that one.
Motion to adopt the budget as presented.
Second.
Got it. Got a motion and a second to adopt the PFA budget as presented. Any further discussion? All in favor? And that is unanimous. This will take us down to public comments for the Public Facilities Authority portion of the agenda. The mayor is the presiding officer. All remarks shall be addressed to the Public Facilities Authority as a body, not to individual members. Anyone wishing to speak shall come to the microphone, give us your name and address, limit remarks to 3 minutes, and not speak a second time until everyone wishing to speak has spoken once. Do not speak unless you have the microphone and have been recognized. Anyone here wishing to address the Public Facilities Authority this evening? All right. Seeing none, I'll take a motion to adjourn this portion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor? And that is unanimous. And we got about 5 or 6 minutes, and then we will start our actual council meeting. I wish we could.
You're pretty.
This is Hassan.
Hassan, I love it. How old is he?
2 years.
2 years. You remind me of an old boy. Do we know what he is?
Like maybe Shepherd Husky mix.
Yeah, that's where I was going. His face looks super
Right.
shepherd and husky at the same time. And that tail says, I'm a husky. I'm a husky.
So we get them love.
It's pretty.
Good boy. Hi, how are you? Good, thank you. This is Hassan. Hi, Hassan. He's a 2-year-old boy. Hi. Very cuddly. I know you're so soft. He's got really nice. Yeah. Right.
Yep.
All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our City Council regular meeting. The clerk will call the roll.
Mayor Brian Mock,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Jimmy First,
Here.
Councilmember John Mesa. Here. Councilmember Leslie Robson. Here. Councilmember Paul Stovall.
Here.
Councilmember Emerald Vythe.
Present.
Very good. We'll start off with our Pledge of Allegiance this evening, and we'll ask the good folks from Lifeline to lead us in our pledge this evening. Can y'all do that for us? Yes. Waiting for y'all. We have the approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda as prepared by staff.
Motion and a second to approve the agenda as presented. Any discussion? All in favor? That is unanimous. First up this evening, we have Lifeline. Where's Lifeline? Who do we have with us this evening? He's a beauty. She's a beauty.
Thank you so much for having us this evening. This is Hassan right here. He is located at our DeKalb County Animal Services facility just down the road a little way. So if any of you are looking to add a new member to the family, please come check him out. Say hello, even if you're not. Give him some love and some attention. He is just such a sweet boy. He's around 2 years old, and he is a volunteer favorite, that's for sure. They actually, when we were getting ready to get him to get in the car and get over here, they had to look for him because the volunteer had already had him out. So he's very popular, and so he is just a love, so sweet. He obviously loves Mona Lisa, who has been taking care of him and everything like that. But he came to us as a stray, pretty emaciated, got some upper respiratory, but he is now doing fantastic. He has definitely gotten used to the finer things in life when they were having to bribe him to eat with chicken and things like that. So now he can be a bit of a picky eater because he's so used to the good stuff. But he's very sweet. He's ready to go. He's neutered. He's up to date on his vaccines. We are actually our fee waived for the entire week as well, so he's available to adopt with no fee. So definitely come say hello to us after and get some loving in with this guy. And then we're also here to talk about just a variety of things going on with our organization. For those of you that don't know, Lifeline Animal Project operates DeKalb County Animal Services. We also have our Community Animal Center, which is not too far from here. And we also operate Fulton County Animal Services. And so what we do is we have hundreds and hundreds of dogs and cats that need homes, and about 1 million different ways to help them find those homes, whether that's volunteering, fostering, anything like that. We even are hiring for anyone in the audience that might be looking for a career change. So definitely any different ways to get involved, even donating old towels and blankets and things like that. Or if you're not looking to add to the family, we also provide a lot of great different resources for pet owners if you already own a pet. We just had our Healthy Pets DeKalb event over in Doraville last weekend, and we saw over, it was 1,175 pets in just the span of 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So you can imagine that's a lot of pets getting free services, free vaccines, free microchipping, and free spay and neuter vouchers. And so not only do we have pets to adopt, but we also have ways to help you continue to have your pet in your home if you are struggling in any way. And just to give you an idea of our facilities right now, they are extremely overpopulated. We are trying to get these numbers down as much as we can. Right now we're at 506. We're looking to get to 488. So we're about 16 away from our goal. So even just one animal going to foster or getting adopted helps us keep those population levels to a more manageable amount. He's so sweet. But yeah, that's just what we're here to talk about today, and we're really excited to get to introduce Hassan and his cute, sweet self. And then, oh yeah, we're talking about you. And before we leave, we were hoping to maybe, Sam is over here, he is our social media coordinator. We would love to, as part of our campaign, you might have seen a few t-shirts or stickers for Lifeline saying, "I'm in." That's a little bit of our motto. And so we were wondering if we could get everyone maybe on video just saying, "I'm in for DeKalb's animals," if that's okay with you guys. All right, I guess I will count you guys in if that's possible. All right, we'll go 1, 2.
I'm in for DeKalb Animals.
Perfect. Thank you guys so much, and thank you for having us.
Julie, that dog has your name on it.
That is definitely a staff dog if I've ever seen one. So somebody on staff is going to go get that dog, right, John? Thank you, guys. Good luck, Hassan. What a beauty. All right, next up under announcements and presentations, we have a proclamation for Myositis Awareness Month.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I'm on here, we're doing this on behalf of Rich Augustinis to request the City of Chamblee declare May 25th, 2025 as Myositis Awareness Month to help bring attention to this rare and debilitating disease. Rich is deeply committed to raising awareness for this disease and advocating for those affected, including his own father, who's been battling this disease for 17 years. So with that, I'm going to read the proclamation. I want to ask everybody to bear with me. There's a lot of scientific words in here, and it's not my forte. I haven't taken biology since high school. Whereas residents of the City of Chamblee are among those affected by myositis and other rare diseases because nearly 1 in 10 Americans have this rare disease. Whereas idiopathic inflammatory myopathies, collectively referred to as myositis, are rare chronic autoimmune muscle wasting diseases and are often features debilitating muscle inflammation and other symptoms such as pain, fatigue, and trouble swallowing, and can result in associated lung diseases. I'm going to skip that word. Whereas more research is needed to identify the causes of and modes of treatment for the group of diseases, which include anti-MDA5 autoantibodies, positive syndromes. I'm just going to skip over a few of these guys. Immune-mediated myopathy, inclusion body myositis, and polymyositis. And whereas myositis is difficult to diagnose, so treatment is often delayed, and individuals generally experience difficulty finding a healthcare provider of expertise in their condition. And whereas all who suffer with this disease experience reduced quality of life, especially as no cure has been found and life expectancy is shortened, especially for those with inclusion body of this disease, and women and people of color of all forms of this disease experience particularly pronounced health disparities. And whereas the Myositis Association, better known as TMA, is leading the international patient advocacy organization serving the community, focusing on patient services, education, research, and public awareness so as to achieve a world without this disease. And whereas the association is organizing a nationwide observance of this awareness month from May 1st through the 31st of 2025. Therefore, let it be resolved that May 2025 will be observed as Myositis Awareness Month in the city of Chamblee, and all the citizens of Georgia are encouraged to come together, learn more about the forms of this disease and the symptoms, and support the families in our community who will benefit from greater awareness of this rare disease.
Good job.
And Rich, would you like to come up and take a picture of us?
Go down. All right, Councilwoman, where you at? I see. All right, we have the Chamblee-Doraville CID annual update. Oh my gosh, so sorry about that son, Josh. Yeah, look at you.
How we doing? I don't know what's tougher to follow, Hassan or Jimmy getting through some of those big words. That was impressive, sir.
I'm retiring after that one. That was a lot.
So my name's Josh Harrison, President and CEO of Patillo Industrial Real Estate. Our dear connection to Chamblee is the trackside office development down the street. We built that started working on that in 2014, delivered in 2018, and have been a corporate citizen of Chamblee since that time. Patillo, like several other Chamblee-centric firms, Jim Ellis, Trinity Development, Halpern Enterprises over in Doraville, all believe in being very active in our communities. And so as a part of that, we were part of the group that helped form the Chamblee CID back in 2019. I'm here tonight speaking as both chairman of that CID's board, as well as your appointee to that board. As you all know, CIDs get, all the municipalities within CIDs or governmental entities have the ability to appoint a board, and I've been your appointee since formation. So here to just give you kind of an update of what we've been working on, in addition to this presentation hopefully being informative about what we've been up to. I also want it to be one of expressing great gratitude. Your staff, Kristen, wonderful city manager, and each of you have been very supportive to our efforts. We could not do what we do without our city partners, and so hopefully you'll catch a lot of my gratitude through this presentation. Kristen knows I'm very quick to remind everybody that it's great that we as a decision to self-assess extra taxes add to the ability for us to do things for the citizens and business owners of the community. But I also recognize and fail to often admit that we also create extra work for your staff. And so we're very appreciative of all they do to help us get done what we're trying to do. So the purpose of a CID, and as I said, we've been around for 5 going on 6 years, so a lot of you will know this, but we're basically put together to provide a combined voice for the business owners, as well as a funding mechanism for the business owners to affect change. Your primary constituency is your elected, your electorate, right, your citizens. Our primary constituency is the business owners and property taxpayers in our board, or in our district, in our boundaries. But I think we both serve a collective constituency, right? Good communities need good business. Good communities need great residences. And so I think our ability to serve our combined constituencies is very important. So as I mentioned, this is your CID board. Many of the entities I referenced early on are on here. As you can see, it's a very talented group of people. The largest property owner in the Chamblee area via Jim Ellis Enterprises, as well as a lot of the development firms that have created a lot of the really unique and cool assets in and around Chamblee. But very talented group. We are currently shy one. Our board, we have not replaced the DeKalb County appointee. As you all know, county recently had elections, and so once the new CEO is ready, that board seat would get filled. As I said, each of these people have not only elected to pay extra taxes at their benefit. Our current millage rate is a 5 rate of 5 mills, but these folks give their time and talents free of any compensation. So very appreciative of all of these folks. So as you can see real quick on our boundaries include 167 parcels that are owned by 111 distinct individual property owners. That 353 acre is really sort of a patchwork, but it is as far south as the Peachtree Boulevard, Peachtree Road split, heads up, goes east on Chamblee Tucker, and then runs up the commercial east side of Buford Highway, as far north as 285, and then comes down the westernmost boundary being the west side of Peachtree Boulevard. 353 acres, total assessed property value, basically that equates to an annual budget on the 2024 tax digest of about $1.2 million. Our work program as it stands today would be a $34 million investment. That encompasses about a dozen projects in and around, and there you can see a good depiction of the boundaries I described. But in and around the boundaries of our CID, that work program, as I stated, our annual revenue budget this year is $1.2 million. So the only way we can even possibly conceive of accomplishing a $34 million work program over a 10-year period is by leveraging other sources. Certainly the cities of both Doraville and Chamblee have been great in contributing towards our projects, and we are very appreciative of that, as we have also had some success in identifying federal funds, both through discretionary opportunities through Congress and formula funding through the ARC, Transportation Improvement Program, or the TIP program. As we sit today, we've committed $2.2 million towards the projects I'm about to walk you through, and we've been able to leverage other outside entities for $8.6 million, leaving an unfunded balance towards that work program of just north of $23 million. So what are you working on, you might ask? This project has been our priority project since day one. This is the realignment of the very complicated intersection at the northernmost part of our CID boundaries. We've called it the gateway intersection, but this basically takes the complicated intersection by the Porsche dealership. It's a 5-way intersection as it currently sits today, and would seek to improve safety, improve the timing of that by taking a 5-way stop, making it a 4-way stop, and hopefully realigning for vehicular safety, those to be a little less angled and a little bit more of a direct approach. I can see all of you squinting, So I'm guessing you're looking deeply at how that is arrived at. This is not an engineering presentation. I am not an engineer, and nor is this a final concept. But this is one of the concepts that has come out of the early design work that we've been doing. As I said, it would use that roundabout that is on private property that would be part of the right-of-way acquisition, actually owned by some of the people within our CID. But again, that's not a vetted, that is a under design concept at this point. I think it was Councilman Mesa last year while presenting that talked about making sure we exhausted all opportunities for outside funding. So happy to report that in 2024, we were awarded $2 million through the ARC TIP program. That's in addition to the early $1.6 million that we received for the design cost. So we remain hard at work at building out that funding stack. As it sits today, and again, these are plan and cost estimates, that in front of you would probably be closer to an $8 million project, not a $6 million project. So there is a gap to solve. I will point out, as it stands today, we are fully funded up into or until some phase of construction. So we do have some time to solve that funding gap, meaning construction at this point is scheduled to be very late 2027. Quite possible that that could slip into 2028, although we are working hard to keep that on schedule. Any questions on that? One of our early successes is now done. This is the pedestrian boulevard, Peachtree Boulevard pedestrian enhancements. The installation of up to 2,700 linear feet of the 10-foot paths. You guys were very instrumental in working with us on this. The CID funded $290,000 worth of engineering and design dollars, combined with city budgetary funds and DOT via the LMIG program. We were able to put this together and get this done. I don't know about y'all, but I think it has been a really big success. I saw people walking on that while it was still under construction. That was proof to me that it was going to get used. Very exciting, good to see. Also did a lot of beautification efforts. I think that's a lot of what the city's monies went into helping us fund, and so very appreciative of how this has worked out. So much so that our CID became emboldened to go ahead and start working on phase 2 of this project. So at completion, phase 2 of this project would basically put 10-foot wide multi-use trails on both sides of Peachtree Boulevard from the split of Peachtree Boulevard and Peachtree Road all the way up to the gateway intersection that I referred to earlier, again, on both sides of the road. As you can see, while that's not that much more from a linear footage perspective, that is the complicated sections of that. So our commitment to fund design there on those additional widenings and infills totaled about $640,000. We were fortunate enough from Commissioner Bradshaw in his last year as a commissioner of DeKalb County, contributed $40,000 towards this effort through his discretionary funds. And we have a pending loan grant request in with CERTA, State Roads and Toll Authority, through their GTIB program. It would be a $1.7 million and $1.3 million loan grant combo. And that loan would be on the books of the CID. That's not a city funding obligation. So with that, that would largely fill out this funding bucket. I do think, again, these are planning level costs. We don't know exactly where those come in, but I do think this is one of these projects that you all might see again from us. I think the way that we did phase 1 in terms of the DOT monies and city monies to get that all done was a really nice playbook. We'd perhaps like to see that ran again, but would be quite excited to get this pedestrian work done on Peachtree Boulevard. I think we hear from CERTA in June of this year as to our grant and loan request. Not a whole lot of detail here, but just to let you all know, we have started advancing some other things. These were further down our priority list in our initial work program, but late in 2024, we did go ahead and advance some early concept level things related to the potential extension of both John Glenn Drive and Terrell Drive. That would connect through Peachtree Boulevard back to Peachtree Road. To orient you there, y'all all know where I'm talking about, but that's directly adjacent to or across Peachtree from where the assembly development would let out. In addition, we've released some initial planning work to look at the Chamblee-Tucker-Buford Highway intersection. Those would largely be pedestrian vehicle interaction safety type enhancements. That's not necessarily a redo of that intersection, but just cleaning up some of the turn lanes and the way pedestrian movements work with vehicles in that intersection. And again, those are all just early level planning releases, but we've invested $70,000 in the engineering for some of those concepts. I will point out from a use standpoint, we are working with Kimley Horn, which is the same firm that the city works with, same team. We've really found that that helps us coordinate and make sure that what you all and staff is working on from your important priority projects are at least syncing up and coordinated with what we're working on and thinking about. This is obviously meant to be a Chamblee-centric presentation, so I'm not going to go into all of the Doraville projects, but I did just want to have a slide to acknowledge the fact that we recognize we are a multi-jurisdiction CID. A lot of our investment has been in Chamblee. A lot of our boundaries are within Chamblee, but we are in both cities, and we do find good success working with both all of you and your counterparts over in Doraville. So just wanted to have a slide to mention a couple of those things. Matt Oppenheimer with Halpern is their appointee, and he'll be making a similar presentation, although it might be a little more Doraville-centric, to them next month. So before I close, and certainly would welcome any questions from any of y'all, I'll again go back to how grateful we are. I think I've met one-on-one with each and every one of you. I think all of you have been to one or more of our meetings. You all have a lot on your plates. So working with us only adds to that, and we recognize that, and we appreciate that. We're excited about some of the great things we've got going on. Everyone on our board chose to locate their businesses in Chamblee and Doraville for a reason. This is a great place. A couple summers ago, I lived here for a summer because we were renovating our home, and it's great. I'm here every day, right down the street, and we're excited to be able to continue to advance infrastructure improvements to keep making this place as good as it is. Cynthia Edwards, Kristen Gorham, your staff that we work with mostly are both very awesome, and you should know that.
All right, thanks, Josh. Malika, you guys are doing a tremendous job. Thank you for being such valuable partners. I too have seen lots of people using the new sidewalks on Peachtree Road, Peachtree Boulevard, and before there was a crevice in the side of the street, indicating there was a lot of usage, right? I mean, the high school kids, heading to Chick-fil-A and all that kind of stuff. And so the sidewalks, I'm excited about the realignment of Peachtree Boulevard, but the sidewalks really made all the difference for me. So I appreciate you guys doing that and taking it all the way down Peachtree. Appreciate that. Any comments, council?
I want to ditto what you said. I love the sidewalks. I've been walking on them.
Good.
I see strollers walking on them and not in the street, which has it warms my heart. I love it. I love it. I love it. So just great work.
Thank you.
And
Brian,
they look good. The landscaping's really nice.
no, they turned out nice. And Mr. Mayor, one thing I'll say about the fact that a lot of that was just sort of your old, almost cattle trail, right? Like, why did it cost that much to do design? We know where they need to go.
Well, thank you guys for being such
You
great
bet.
partners. We appreciate you.
Thank you all.
Yep. All right, we will move on down into old business, and we have 3 sets of minutes this evening.
Motion to approve the 3 sets of minutes concurrently for the February 4th, 2025 meeting, discussion workshop meeting, the work session for February 13th, 2025, and the regular council meeting for February 18th, 2025, as submitted.
I have a motion and a second to approve all 3 sets of minutes as submitted. Any further discussion? All in favor? And that is unanimous. This will take us down to the city attorney. We have a second read on the UDO tap room amendment.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for the attorneys to read headings only.
Very good.
All right, this is an ordinance to amend the Code of Ordinances of the City of Chamblee, Georgia, Unified Development Ordinance, Title I, Administration, and Title II, Land Use and Zoning, by editing and adding certain provisions and for all other lawful purposes. The amendment would revise the definition of taproom in Section 110-1, add certain zoning districts in which a taproom would be a permitted use under the UDO in certain circumstances in Section 240-1, and add licensing requirements with respect to the taproom use.
All right, and that is a second read and will require a motion.
Motion to adopt the UDO tap room amendment as read by the city attorney.
A motion to adopt the UDO tap room amendment as read by the city attorney. Any further discussion? All in favor? And that is unanimous. All right, that takes us down to item A, Mayor's Monarch Pledge.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that the mayor and council approve the attached resolution as presented to mark completion of the first action item of the mayor's Monarch Pledge.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the action on the Mayor's Monarch Pledge. Any further discussion? All in favor? That is unanimous. The DDA appointment this evening.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to adopt a resolution appointing the following individuals to the Downtown Development Authority. John Mesa for a term expiring February 28th, 2029 as council representative. Jonathan Smith for a term expiring February 28th, 2029. And Jenna Dunham for a term expiring February 28th, 2029.
Second.
A motion and a second to appoint the individuals as read by Councilmember Vyth. Any further discussion? All in favor? That is unanimous. Municipal court staffing and position reclassification.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the creation of the deputy court clerk position as presented by staff.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the municipal court staffing and position reclassification as presented by staff. Any further discussion? All in favor? That is unanimous. The balance design phase 2.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion authorizing you to sign a contract, wrong line. Motion to approve the revised scope of work for interior design at a cost not to exceed $75,495.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the balance design phase 2 in an amount not to exceed $75,495 specifically, not 1 cent more. Any further discussion on that item? All in favor? And that is unanimous. We have the business licensing software.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for you to enter into a 3-year agreement with Carsoft Technology, better known as OpenGov, for the software implementation services of a total cost not to exceed $162,811.75, subject to approval by the legal.
We have a motion and a second to approve business and licensing software through the Carsoft. And I don't remember the amount.
$162,811.75.
$1,811.75. Any further discussion on that item? All in favor? And that is unanimous. All right. This will take us down to our zoning items, which is, first up is 3715 Longview Drive. This is the Brookhaven Club.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve with the following conditions. Staff conditions 1 through 4 as presented, and the following new condition number 5 as read by me. In addition to the 10 parking spaces on the site, the application shall secure off-site parking easements and agreements to provide a minimum number of 40 spaces additional, subject to the following conditions. A, the location of off-site parking shall be within a half mile of 3715 Longview Drive as measured in the most direct line from the property line to the property line on the city's GIS database. B, the agreements shall allow the use of spaces for at least the time frame of Monday through Thursday from 6 p.m. until 12 a.m. and from Friday at 6 p.m. through Sunday at 10 p.m. C, off-site parking shall not be located on a property with the primary business operations in the evening, i.e. restaurants open for dinner service and nightclubs or bars. D, the applicant shall install 2 signs indicating the additional parking is available with the address of the off-site parking location included in the signs, and the signs shall be maintained as a condition of the variance. E, prior to a change in the use of 3715 Long Drive that differs from the religious institution with the limitation of the hours set forth in condition number 1, the property owner shall submit information regarding the use and the parking calculations to the Planning and Development Director for review and approval. That said, use a substantially similar in parking requirements. If the use is different and would require more parking, the parking variance must be applied for and obtained prior to the change in use. F, the parking easements and agreements satisfying these conditions shall be provided to the Planning and Development Director prior to the issuance of the certificate of occupancy for the building located at 3715 Longview Drive. And G, if the designated off-site parking are located on a property on the west side of Longview Drive opposite the street of the property, the applicant shall work with the city to install a mid-block pedestrian crossing, which includes signage, painted crosswalks, and a rapid rectangular beacon, flashing beacon, subject to the city's engineer confirming that said crosswalk will not create an unsafe condition and determine the location of the crosswalk. H, if the on-site parking spaces are more than 10, the additional parking spaces shall be deducted from the number of required off-site parking spaces available for use, i.e. if 12 spaces are on site, 33 additional parking spaces will be needed instead of 40. That is all.
Second.
All right, this is a motion and a second to approve with conditions as stated by Councilmember Mesa. Is there any discussion on
Yeah,
this?
I'd like to make a friendly amendment. I didn't hear the language of easements and agreements.
I did.
It was
It
in
was
there,
in
You
yes.
did put it in there?
Did.
Yep.
It was
Okay.
in there. I did, Mr. Mesa, one item, in your example, I believe the reduction would be 38, not 33, from 40.
Yes, because I did not change the other number for the
Okay,
calculation.
thank you.
So
Just wanted to make sure
you are correct.
thank you.
So I will, so you're making a friendly amendment to change 30, as I stated, 33 to
38.
30.
It's just in your example, yes.
8. All right,
Just a clarification.
got it. I accept that friendly amendment, and I have made that change.
Can you read that in totality for me? So,
I cannot. If you'll read the,
yeah, I'm not reading that. Just the amount of spaces.
I'll match you.
I already forgot what those words meant and what I said. It's gone.
All right, any further discussion on this item? I'll call the question. All in favor? And that is unanimous. All right, we are down to item, this is 3063 Claremont Road. This is the Hilton Garden Inn Development of Community Impact.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we defer this item to the April council meeting.
Well, this is a motion and a second to defer this item to the April council meeting. Any further discussion on this?
Are there any particular items that we are trying to research I'm just curious and have it stated so everybody knows?
Sure. With the news we received at the end of the week regarding Georgia DOT requiring right turn in, right turn out only, I think we need to look more into whether or not a better entrance point can be found or what mitigation needs to be put in place to clean up that area. There's some concerns about putting those limits in and what that's going to do with traffic flow with people ignoring them.
Any further discussion? All right, all in favor? And that is unanimous. We have the 3652 Chamblee Dunwoody Road. This is a dumpster variance.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to motion to approve the variance from section 240-7B8E to install a commercial dumpster enclosure in the front yard with conditions as recommended by staff.
This is a motion and a second to approve with conditions as recommended by staff. Any further discussion? All in favor? And that is unanimous. All right, this will take us down to public comment. I'll read the rules of order for public comment. The mayor is the presiding officer. All remarks shall be addressed to the city council as a body, not to individual members. Anyone wishing to speak shall come to the microphone, give us your name and address. Limit remarks to 3 minutes unless further time is granted by council. Do not speak a second time until everyone wishing to speak has spoken once. No one can speak more than twice, and please do not speak unless you have the microphone and have been recognized. And with that, I will open it up to public comment. Anyone wishing to address council this evening?
Just a word of warning, I'm the timekeeper, and 3 minutes is jarring when I let people know.
Permission to exceed 3 minutes.
You'll have to ask that for that.
Go ahead.
Okay, first, I just want to say, I saw a dumpster variance. I thought y'all meant that studio that y'all built over here. And secondly,
Can you give us your name and address, please?
my name is Kevin Baker. I reside in Chamblee. And secondly, CID Doraville, Chamblee. Sounds like a government-sponsored monopoly. But anyways, I don't see very much black men, black youth working over there at that site. So much for this Black Lives Matter thing. Anyways, this past weekend, the commander-in-chief deported members of a violent criminal gang. There are those in our community and in our country who disapprove of this move. Compassion for these people is misplaced. While we should have empathy for those who are marginalized, no empathy should be afforded to those who seek to kill and destroy. They should remain marginalized, sent to El Salvador. Today, I want to remind our local leaders of their vows to inclusivity and understanding. A few years ago, we stood in unison to say that Black Lives Matter. This has devolved to include every member of every special interest group in the United States. In essence, all lives matter. My concern is particularly to members of my community who are marginalized the most. In that group are the black youth, young black men. We are in a crisis and need more than just words and catchphrases. We need action. Many in my community are suffering and lack direction. Black Lives Matter materialized into tolerance. For those in power and ordinary citizens alike, we know the problems exist, but are either too powerless or reluctant to do anything about it. We just tolerate. Why should I care about something that doesn't affect me? That is the echo of those in power, mainly the Caucasians. If so, stop with the woke nonsense because your words are meaningless. Action is what's needed. And action is what we are seeing at the national level. Those who seek to destroy our communities
We're
should be
at 3
dealt.
minutes.
Can I exceed?
Like to extend for 1 minute, sir?
Yes, sir.
1 minute, sir.
Those who seek to destroy our communities should be dealt with accordingly. Send them to El Salvador. The violent gang members, the people who are committing violent crimes, who are pushing poison to the community. Nobody should have empathy for them. Compassion should be reserved for those who choose to get up each and every day and try. Even though they fail, they continue to try. Not criminal street gangs distributing poison to our children. Act, reach out, love thy neighbor, hate evil, and stop dividing us based on superficial features or identities. We are all one people, one nation, under God, indivisible. I love dogs as well. And we should love dogs, but we should love humans more than we love dogs.
Perfect timing.
Thank you, sir. All right. Anyone else wishing to address council this evening?
Hi, I'm Catherine Young, also known as Lisa Young. You all have been hearing from me. I am asking for provisions for parking on Van Nett Road for residents during the hours of 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. between the cross streets of Teal Road and Sandalwood Drive. We are having difficulties. We live in this street. We've lived in this street for, 65, 66, 67 years I've lived there. Trying to remember how long. And until the past 2 months, we've been able to park on the street in front of my own house. And now all of a sudden I have workmen coming, I have guests coming, the people who live in my house, we can't park in front of my own house because we're having to constantly shuffle cars. And there needs to be a provision in the recently passed ordinance or whatever it is in order to allow residents and our guests and our workmen to park in front of the house. I'm planning to have a tree removed at some point soon. They do it during the day between 7 and 4. Are they not supposed to park on the street either? Removing a huge tree, and it's a very large tree, so there are going to be a lot of trucks out there doing this. Please, I just want you to figure out a way to allow us to park in front of our house on our street. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. I still say it's Vinay. Vinay.
Vinay, not Vanette.
Vinay. Anyone else wishing to address council? Anyone? All right, seeing no one, do we have executive session this evening?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to enter into executive session to discuss real estate, potential litigation, and personnel matters.
Second?
Motion and a second to enter into executive session. All in favor? And that is unanimous. All right.
One little technical experience.
he and I were talking last.
Mr. Mayor, motion to exit executive session.
Have a motion and a second to exit executive session. All in favor? That is unanimous.
Mr. Mayor, motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion and a second to adjourn the meeting. All in favor? And that is unanimous.